Hey there, world. How are you all doing today?
Hello. Good to see everybody. Good morning. Hello.
Good morning on this. It is a lovely spring day.
It
Um,
is. It is. It's a little chilly, but it's a beautiful April day. Totally.
so I'm David Stradley from Delaware, Shakespeare,
And I'm Saliym Cooper from Brevity Bookspace. Hello.
and we're here to chat with you a little bit today about something we hope you will join us for this weekend. It's a public poetry project. Say
Yeah.
that 5 times fast. Public poetry project. Called Right Outside Your Window, that Brevity Bookspace and Delaware Shakespeare and the Wilmington Alliance and University of Delaware Partnership for Arts and Culture are all working on. So Saliym, this was kind of your brainchild, your vision. You want to talk about where this idea for Right Outside Your Window came from and what it's all about?
Yeah, I would actually love to. So right outside your window is it's just a public poetry project that allows people to speak their voices, what's on their mind right now, nationally and globally, and also, within our own city limits. We're going through a lot. There is a massive healing that is happening in our country with everything that is going on racially and in our communities, within ourselves, within quarantine, within these COVID times. And it's a twofold project that came about as some research that I did in the antebellum South, or in regards to the antebellum South, particularly the idea of the hush harbor that was used by slaves to actually put their fears and their transgressions and everything they were going through. They would sing into tea kettles, they would light lanterns to bring in spirit, and they would go into the forest after a long day and just kind of have these cathartic moments. And I was like, well, how can we do something like that for inner city residents? But at the same time, instead of making it silenced or quiet or in secret, I wanted to make it public. So that's where we come in with the actual public display of using these poems that we collect and putting them throughout the city in larger than life format. And then also I got this idea from a poet named Robert Montgomery, who in London shared his work on billboards. And I was like, oh, if we put those two together, we've got the catharsis, but then we've also got the public platform of expression. And we're losing the erasure, we're losing the marginalization, we're losing the silencing, and we're creating this conversation in passing, in person, and in public format. And I thought that would be a very, very powerful thing, given the times that we live in.
So we're asking people to write 30-word or less poems.
Correct.
Right.
Yes. 30 words or less poems. Answering the prompt, if you could say anything to Wilmington, what would it be? And Wilmington being your neighbor, the tree, the garden, the man without a mask, whatever that might be. And that's the thing. We won't know until we read them what people actually have to say, which is a really, really beautiful thing.
So you can find info about this at delshakes.org, right-outside-your-window.
A lot of dashes.
A lot of dashes in there. And, from the Del Shakes perspective, well, first off, April is National Poetry Month.
Yes.
Hopefully all of you out there have been celebrating poems this month. And tomorrow, Friday, is actually Shakespeare's birthday. And Del Shakes normally in the spring does a community engagement event called Shakespeare Day, where we gather community members for a lunchtime event where we read quotes from every single one of Shakespeare's plays in kind of one hour event. This year, of course, with still in our COVID pandemic, it didn't seem a good idea to gather everyone in a tight group in one time. But so our spring communication event is this Right Outside Your Window this year. And I love the idea that there's still on the day, there'll still be some Shakespeare that we'll read, but really we're asking the poetry to come from our community this year, and still celebrating this idea that poetry can bring us together and can connect us and can allow us to give voice to things that maybe we wouldn't be able to give voice to in other ways with that. So we have two ways that people can share their poems. If you go to delshakes.org, right outside your window, you can find a digital form, or you can put write your 30-word poems and submit it digitally. But then we've got this Sunday, April 25th, from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. What are we doing then, Saliym?
Okay, so basically it is going to be an event where we're going to create, I want to say, sacred space. There'll be djembe drumming done by my father, who's amazing, but that is a way to not only gather, but to ground the energy and to call in, whatever it is that we require to speak freely, to speak truthfully, and to speak without shame. So we'll open with that to kind of bring everyone together. And then there'll be introductions of our artists in residence who are going to be performing the selected pieces. And those will happen about every 20 minutes or so to give guests an idea of what they could say and what direction they should go, and just to make them a little more comfortable on the page. And during that time, we'll also be handing out little half sheets that will have the prompts on them. And just in case you don't have an idea of what you want to say, so it can kind of give you a bit of guidance so you feel comfortable. We want everyone to feel comfortable at this event. And then also, there will be an arbor where you'll actually be able to string your poems. And then we'll also have like kind of a giving basin. And this will be where the performers will be standing, and you can either give them in the basin or have them sway in the sunlight on the arbor. And then the last half hour, we'll actually do cold readings where those who feel comfortable in sharing their work can actually take the stage and say what they have to say on a public format. Because I believe it's very rare that we get to say what we mean from the heart, and it's very rare that we get to be heard when we say it. So I think that's incredibly important. But there will also be music, there'll be community, and we will be socially distanced as well and masked up.
Yeah, we'll be at, so it's at 7th and West Streets Park in Wilmington. Yeah, and as Saliym said, there's no like set performance time again, because we didn't want to have everyone gather right at 2 o'clock. Again, it'll be a spread out event, so you can come and drop off your poem, you can come and listen and be inspired and write a poem. But everyone will be masked. We'll be socially distanced in the grounds. We want everyone to feel safe and comfortable. But we want to hear people's voices as well.
Yes, we want you.
And we've already gotten about 30 poems shared online, and it's been really wonderful just to hear what people are saying, what people are on their minds. And yeah, that's what this is all about. Looking outside your window, what you want to say to your community. So again, more information is at delshakes.org, right outside your window. And we hope you can join us on Sunday, April 25th.
Anytime between 1 to 4, we would love to see you. We would love to have you. Thank you so much for listening. And hopefully you can share this message and attend if you're available. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody. Hope to see you Sunday, and hope to hear your voices.
Peace and light.